So I picked up this Paige Evans Adventurous paper collection, and I'm going to show you the mini album I made with it. Hi everyone, this is Debbie from Project 39 Mini Album. And I don't know why I have not used Paige Evans paper before. Maybe because it just doesn't have the cut aparts that I usually use making a mini album, but that's okay. That's okay. I just love the bright colors and the fun elements on here. It just was fun. I still have some paper left, and this is part of my paper stash smash. For the month of February, I was trying to use up 12 by 12 paper. I used up several paper pads, but I did not complete this. So since it's March, going to be March soon, I'm going to be using other paper coming up. So I'm going to put this aside, but I did make a mini album. I made this 6.5 by 8.5 mini album. I already have a tutorial on my channel for the most part. Now this is a little bit simpler than that tutorial. So you can follow the tutorial for the cover and the base pages, but then, and for the inside front cover. But then I just added 2 flaps and a pocket onto the front of all of the pages. So this is 5 by 8. So I cut 2 5.5 by 8 pieces of, and this is heavy weight cardstock. It's 110 pounds. So actually I use 1 piece of paper for each, cut it down to 8, and then cut it in half at 5.5 and scored it at 1/2 inch and added 1 to the right side, 1 to the left side. And then the pocket, um, the pages should be 6 inches, but it tends to be a little bit smaller once you add the flaps and stuff. So what I did is I took 6 7/8 by 5 1/4, and I scored it on 2 short sides, 1 long side. So I put on the flaps, then I put on the pocket. That's it. I mean, I'm not doing a full-blown tutorial because I already have a tutorial on this mini album. So anyhow, let me take you through it. I also used, I had a couple of sheets of this acetate. I'm leaving it in the plastic just so it doesn't get scratched up, but isn't that pretty stuff? So I used that, and that's what I used on the cover. I did add some of these. This I fussy cut from the collection. Oh my goodness, craziness. And then added a piece of baker's twine, and I have a little charm here. And then decorated the cover. I had these dimensional wording that I put on some bright colored paper. I fussy cut these suitcases, added some dimensional dots. What am I looking at? Enamel dots. And then a couple of stickers and just different things from the collection. So that is the cover. Now inside the front cover, and this is in the tutorial, which is in my coffee shop, I have a waterfall. I wanted you to be able to use 4 by 6 photos. So this is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So you can put 4 by 6 photos there. I just used some paper and stickers to cover this, but you might cover that with a photo. This will come up, and then I just added a 1/2 inch piece of paper on the bottom there, just so it looks decorative when it's closed, but when you add the photos, you'll see a little bit of the photos on the bottom. That's okay. And you can get 16 photos right here. Here is a photo mat, and you could put another photo there. I don't know why I didn't add a photo mat, it just was a little smaller. So, and you could add photos to the front here. Let me grab this, spent a little time and stitched around some 4.5 by 6.5 white cardstock to make photo mats. I'm going to take this as an illustration. So here you can add a photo and tuck it in there. Now you could add the photo onto the photo mat, because your 4 by 6 photo, you'll see 1/4 of an inch on each side, or you could just put the photo right there and tuck it into my decoration down there. I do have magnets holding this. And again, here, you could add a photo mat, because I have extra photo mats tucked into this book. You could add a photo mat there, one there, one there, and then put whatever you want in the pocket. And here in the pocket is a tag. I've got a postcard. I thought if you went on a trip, you could say, you know, where you were going and put the date and whatever, some details on here. So there is the page, and the pages are all the same. Now, each of them has a hidden pocket. These are, I think, 5¼ by 7½ something like that. So you could put a 5×7 photo on here, or even a 4×6 photo, then you'll have room to journal. On the back of this, let me grab another photo mat. On the back of the front page, I loved this little page. So I didn't add a photo mat on here, but you could add your photo. You actually could add maybe 2 small ones. This was on the paper, and I liked them so much that I fussy cut the flowers out and added them onto paper. So this is a lovely tuck spot for you to put your photo. So again, you can add the photo to a photo mat, or you could just put it on the page. And same here, this is open at the top. That's open too. So you could add your photo there. I thought that was beautiful. I just love the colors and the flower. I mean, it's simple, but it's beautiful. And then I used a little flower punch and added some flowers in the corner just to pull this color in. So here is the inside of that page. So again, I played around with my sewing machine, and it's just a basic Genome sewing machine. It was, you know, $200 from Amazon. It's not a great sewing machine, but it did have these fun stitches. And I don't always use these fun stitches, but I thought it would be cool to do. So there is this little tuck spot here. Again, you can use the photo mat or just put the picture right on the page. And you don't have to use that as a tuck spot. You could just put your 4×6 photo right there and leave that there. And I'm going to tuck that in now. And then same for here. That could be a tuck spot, or it could just be a spot up at the top. And then again, I put some photo mats inside the pocket so you can use them if you wanted to here, here, and here. And then this was just some of this photo. There was a mountain up at the top of it, and I just cut the mountain out and made it as a tuck spot for a couple of tags, which would be a great place to put some smaller photos or to journal on. So that goes in the pocket. And the pockets are great to add photos either on mats or just stick them in the pocket. See, these are portrait photos, but if you had landscape photos, that's where you could put them. You could put them in the pocket because then you can take it out and look at the photo. Again, the whole point of this was for 4×6 photos. So on each page, you could put 5 photos, one here, one there, one there, one on the back, and one in there. I mean, you could put a bunch there. And then also you could get a 6th one on the back page. And 2 more, 7 and 8, inside the hidden photo mat. So here we are with another page. There was some stickers in the collection, just alphabet stickers. So I put "Let's Go," because let's go, let's go. I ended up outlining them with white. I don't know if you can see it, but it just made them pop just a little bit more. And this is just a tuck spot. I just glued it on 3 sides. I had added this little scallop detail to this blue paper before I glued it on. So that makes a great tuck spot for photos or photo mat or whatever you want to do. You can see I played around with my sewing machine again, and I just used some of the corners from something else I was working on. I had all these triangles, and I thought those would make a great image. So that would be a great tuck spot to put on our paper. So this will open and this will open. I got a little more fancy schmancy on here. So you can see the Let's Go. There was a sticker that is flower shaped in the shape of an airplane. Here is my fancy stitching, and I did put a small piece of cardstock in there. You still can cover that with a photo. I also added a couple of scraps of paper, stickers here, sticker there, and then I took one of the tags that's in the collection. I made holes, punched it in the front. See, the back has that, so it's sort of plain. But that makes a great spot to journal, or you could add a couple of photos in there, and that makes a nice little fun little thing. Same thing here as there. I did add stickers to the front with the intention that you were going to cover them with your photos. I threw in a couple of orange, oh, is that orange? Yellow and blue photo mats just to tie in the colors. And then here is another stitched photo mat. All right, and then here you of course can take your photo mat and use it right there, or put your photo right there. You know, it depends on what look you want. If you like the white around your photos and you don't print it on the photos, you could put it on here. So that's why I didn't attach them, thinking I'll just let the recipient choose how they want. So again, this is big enough for, again, this is 4.5 by 6.5. So you could put 4 by 6 photo on here or a 5 by 7 photo on there. I do make this, I cut it at 6 inches and used my tab punch board. So I use that. I make a, I'll put it in and punch it here, and then I'll flip it over, punch it there, and it makes the tab. And then I have another punch, just a tab shaped punch that I use to make the paper. I've shown that in other videos. So if that's something you're interested in, look at my other videos. Okay, so here is where I really decided I love Paige Evans. Look at this beautiful butterfly paper. Isn't that pretty? So it was so much fun that I made a little tuck spot with some of the acetate and fussy cut these pretty butterflies. So if you have a photo, you could still center the photo in the page, but some of these butterflies are going to erupt onto your photo. Thought that was a lot of fun. And I added some more photos and the word wander, and this is open, so you can sort of tuck your photo into there. And again, this will open this way, a photo mat, and I added paper, which actually came from a different collection. It was a scrap I had, and I thought it was matched very nicely with this. So I said, okay, I'm going to use it. And here's just sort of a cut apart from the collection. I layered some flowers and things and just glued it on the bottom and 2 sides so it's open. And look at the fun stitching here. I love that sewing machine. Best purchase I ever made. I don't do a lot of stitching on my papers, but just because, you know, I live in my RV, I usually have it put away. I'm stationary for a couple more weeks, so while I'm stationary, I have it sitting on my desk so I remember to use it. This is open too, so you can add your photo there, and there is our hidden photo mat. Isn't that pretty? It just would be a pretty book. All right, so I just made a couple of fishtail tags, added love. This is travel, so love travel, or maybe not. I liked this color and this color. And normally I would say these patterns are too busy to be next to each other, but I think it works. Don't you think so? This is really big. This is about a little bigger than 5 by 7. So you could easily put your 4 by 6 photo on here. I was going to put a photo mat here, but decided not to. Even that way. So you could just put your 4 by 6 photo right on there, and there would be a nice border on there. And you could glue it down if you wanted to, or just use that as a tuck spot. I left these sort of plain. Those were elements from the sticker sheet. And then here I did use those triangles I had, added some stickers to the top So I did one here at the top and one on the bottom and added some extra of these stitched photo mats into the pocket. And again, I just had a scrap of paper. This was the branding strip on it. I just left it on. I thought it was pretty. I took some of this color cardstock and just tore it a little bit to add a little roughness to it and added a couple of stickers. So this I mounted on some white cardstock. It was from another one that said, I don't know, something about little moments, but I took the wording happy and then added that to little moments. And so this adventure begins, room to journal on both of those. I like the color combination. There is our hidden photo mat. And then the back of that is the stamp paper. I should have kept out one of my photo mats, huh? Because this is open, so you could add your photo to there. And as I normally do in a lot of my mini albums is I add a pocket with a flap for the back cover because this way you could put whatever else didn't fit in the book on the back cover. I sort of went with this stamp motif. This was a sticker from the sticker sheet, and this was, I got a pack of stickers, and even though that's gold, but it it coordinates. And then this actually is held down with a magnet. I decided not to do the tie closure, and then this goes like that. And then in the back here is where I have some extra of the photo mats. The back cover, I simply use the paper that coordinates with that acetate. There is the spine, and there we are back to the front cover. So again, it's a 6.5 by 8.5 mini album. I have a tutorial on my channel, and I have the cutting guide in my coffee shop. You can use the tutorial on my channel, just write things down. If you want, you can go to the coffee shop, and I just add the measurements in that just as some people don't want to write things down, and it's easy as everything is in one place. So that is what I wanted to show you using the fabulous Paige Evans Adventurous paper. I did have not just this, but I had the project sheet. That's where I got some of the solids. And like I said, I did not smash this, but I will be working on that, I don't know, over time. So you will see more things coming using this paper collection. That is my project share for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. That really helps me out more than you know. And it lets me know that this is the kind of content you want to see from me. I know everyone loves to see tutorials, and I try to do maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 tutorials a month. But sometimes I just share what I made and reference the tutorial that I did so you can go check it out. Thanks so much for watching. Have a fabulous day.